There's a few dumb tricks that have allowed me to not only get ripped as I get close to my 40th birthday, but stay ripped over the past 15 plus years, despite having two kids back to back, 18 months apart, starting a business online from scratch where I coach guys like you over the age of 40 on how to completely transform their body and their energy. And of course, maintaining a social life, a marriage through the ups and downs that life gives you. I've been able to stay fit, and there's a few dumb tricks that I want to share with you. Number one being, I travel a lot, and when I do travel, whether it's for pleasure or for business, like I'm actually in a hotel right now in Toronto, and I'm here for business. And it's interesting because there's been so many little hacks that I've done today that all add up to guaranteed fat loss, starting with movement. So many guys think, man, I gotta find a gym, I gotta find a piece of cardio equipment, I gotta hope the hotel has a Peloton or some kind of, bike or treadmill or something so that I can do my cardio, when really all you need is your two legs. And there's been so many opportunities for me today to skip the fat burning stuff and go and do what everybody else is doing, which when it comes to travel, for example, most people, they go to the airport, they find a seat, they sit for an hour waiting for their flight, then they get on the flight, they sit for 2 hours wherever they're going, they get in the Uber, they get to the hotel, they sit down, they eat, and next thing you know, you've been sedentary. Despite feeling like you haven't been, you've been sedentary all day. So what I do is I take advantage of this travel time. I move as much as I can. I take the stairs, I don't take, the moving walkway, I actually walk. I get my steps in, and when I get to the city, I look for opportunities to walk around. And I do this in my day-to-day as well. I take my dogs for an extra walk. I take my kids out to the park and I run around with them playing wiffle ball or football or whatever the seasonal sport that we're in is at the time. I'm always looking for little ways to sneak in more steps. And what I can tell you is if you're struggling with your weight, if you're struggling with your energy, if you're like the guys I help, over 7,500 of them at this point, the guys I help who have to sit in front of their computer a lot or have to be in meetings or have to, take calls and they're just like, they feel trapped. What I can tell you is there's ways to habit stack. Take movement and apply it to the things you're already doing. If you're stuck on a call, walk around while you're on the call. If you're on a Zoom meeting, man, stand up and at least stand while you're taking the Zoom meeting. Get more calories burned in your normal day-to-day stuff. I can't stress how effective this is. That sounds so silly. It's like, just walk more? Yeah, just walk more. Because let's just say for argument's sake right now, you're maybe walking 5,000 to 8,000 steps a day. Well, just imagine if you doubled that. What if you went from 5 to 8,000 a day to 10 to 16,000 steps a day? You are literally doubling your output. You're doubling the amount of calories that you're burning. Now, when you combine it with another dumb hack I'm going to give you, it makes fat loss like unbelievably simple. And for you, what I would also say is I made a guide. I call it the predictable fat loss and higher energy for time poor professionals. It's predictable fat loss strategies that I'm gonna give you for free. All you gotta do is comment fat loss below this video. And the dumb hacks like the walking, I have so much more. I can only share so much in a short YouTube video, but there's a lot more that I wanna outline for you. So make sure you comment fat loss and I'll send you a link to jump into our community where I'll give you that for free, okay? Now, the second dumb hack, and this one, you might get upset, but whatever. At the end of the day, I think this one, more than anything, is gonna solve a lot of your nutrition problems. So, a lot of people are like, well, what do I do when I'm stuck in a situation where there's no healthy options? Or, I don't have access to my normal meals, or I'm running around like a crazy person and I need to grab something fast and there's nothing healthy that's fast. What I tell you is like, fasting is a game changer. Today, I'm traveling and all day I'm in the airport, in the car, I'm doing whatever, right? I'm not in my normal day-to-day routine. I don't have access to my kitchen. Sure, I could prep meals and bring them with me, but like nobody wants to smell my food in the airplane. And honestly, I don't want to sit there and eat cold food. What I choose to do is fast. And believe it or not, my energy goes through the roof when I fast, especially when I do longer fasts. Naturally, I'll fast till lunch most days. But my rule of thumb is if there's not an option for me at a restaurant or a place where I currently am, for food that fits what I need, so, calorie controlled, higher in protein, pretty healthy ingredients, stuff that's not going to upset my stomach. Like if there's nothing like that available for me, dude, I just don't eat. I just don't eat. I might have something like this, like a Diet Coke. I'll have some water, sparkling water. Maybe I'll order like a side salad just to kind of give me some fiber. But I wait until I have access to food that fits my needs, okay? And believe it or not, once you push through that little bit of hunger that you might feel when it's normal mealtime, and you go, you know what, I'm just gonna wait, all of a sudden your energy goes through the roof. And keep in mind, you're not overeating, okay? You're creating that calorie deficit that is required for fat loss. You have to be in a calorie deficit if you wanna lose fat. And I know people are like, I thought, this is like game-changing stuff. Well, you believe it or not, there are people out there who literally think, if I don't eat my food, if I don't have some kind of calories, I'm gonna lose all my muscle. Or, my metabolism is gonna slow down. And that's just not true. It's just not true. Fasting for me is a game changer, all right? Especially when you combine it with another dumb hack that I'll give you here in a second. It's silly, but it works. But fasting for me keeps my appetite under control. It allows me to understand, like, hey, I don't have to eat right now. I'm not a slave to food. I control my food. Food does not control me. My cravings don't dictate whether or not I stick to my nutrition plan. So if I'm on the go or I have a busy day and I just, for whatever reason, don't have my normal schedule, I just fast, okay? And when you combine it with the next tip, which I think is also really important, this is my meal rotation system. I know a lot of the gurus out there are going to tell you, like, even the fitness influencers, they're going to share all these recipes, like 13 different things you can eat and get ripped. And I don't disagree that there are a lot of things you could eat and get ripped. I mean, you could literally basically anything, as long as it's calorie controlled and you get enough protein, you can lose body fat. But I found over the years, honestly, it makes so much more sense to just eat a lot of the same meals. And it doesn't have to be boring meals. I don't want you to get freaked out and be like, oh, here's another guy saying I got to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli again. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is pick out 4 to 6 meals that you actually enjoy, that are easy to put together, that you have access to on a regular basis. Heck, include things that you eat at a restaurant. Include foods that are easy to pick up at a restaurant or at a grocery store, so that when you are out of town or when you are busy, you don't have to have like this paralysis by analysis. You don't have to be like, oh man, there's like so many options. It's like, no, normally for dinner, I have a protein source like salmon, chicken, steak, whatever, some rice, some potatoes, and some veggies. Like, I know it sounds so freaking boring, but it doesn't have to be. And honestly, you could have like a delicious protein bar, a protein smoothie, maybe it's eggs and English muffins. I don't know. I'm just naming things off the top of my head that I like to eat. But don't fall into the trap of thinking you have to have this fancy meal plan with 30 different foods. It just, honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't work that well. So the dumb hack I have is I have like my 4 to 6 meals that I keep on rotation. This is part of the system that gives you predictable fat loss. And I want to give it to you for free. All you have to do is comment the word fat loss below and I'll send you the guide absolutely free. I will also say this. If you're serious about making an investment in yourself and you're like, hey, I am sick and tired of living below my potential when it comes to my body, when it comes to my health. I want those two things, my body and my health, to serve me. I'm sick and tired of looking in the mirror and not liking what I see. I'm worried about my health long term. I don't want to be overweight anymore. I need to be a part of something that is going to get me there. That is where our True Transformation program comes into play. I won't give you a hard pitch here. What I'll say is check out the links in the description and the comments below where you can learn more about what we do. Connect with us, dive into the resources that we have for free, schedule a blueprint strategy session so we can map out a plan. And then, hey, we might be a good fit. And if we are, let's do some work together because life moves fast and I want to see you make it count. That's all I got today. Hope these tips helped. Check out this next video and I'll see you over there. Peace.